Greetings, warriors. Editor Griff here. I wanted to show you guys something. Thank you. First of all, we achieved 5,000 subscribers because of the video yesterday. Bless you guys. But also, I want to say that I've actually been featured in a Japanese channel with other content creators on the reaction of RE9 Requiem. So I just wanted to show you guys this. Just be like, yo, we got noticed, because of you guys. That's all I wanted to say. All right, let's go ahead and get into the video. Greetings, everybody. How you guys doing? Welcome to the GGGryphon gaming channel for segments. Guys, this is going to be a calmer version of another look at the trailer. Okay, now I am literally maybe 40 minutes out of my bed. I was gonna either go to the gym or do this. I need to do this because I got work today. It may be Saturday, but I do work on the weekends. That's more money. So I'm going to try to get this video out before I actually have to go to work. And more than likely, if you guys comment, I can read it at work or something like that when there's some downtime. Before I begin, okay, I'm going to leave a chapter if you guys want to skip the intro. Before I begin, I want to thank you guys once again, because just like a few years ago, my subscriber count is starting to go up again. We are currently now at 4,995 or 4,995. We're 5 more from 5,000 or 5K. The last time this happened was during the RE4 remake. Y'all destroyed my channel when it came to that, and we kept a good few peeps here. So if you guys are new to the channel, I do want to reiterate one more time that my channel is not solely based on Resident Evil. I'm just a very, 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 very big fan of Resident Evil. I do also want to say I am not a behind the scenes lore expert on Resident Evil, so there may be some things I will miss. So there's a reason why I say that. Alyssa Ashcroft, Resident Evil Outbreak is one of the Resident Evils that I wasn't able to sit down and play heavily because I didn't have a PS2 back in the day. Okay, but I do know the name, but because that game has been obscured from Capcom for so long, I forgot some of the names or anything like that. I just know the name sounded familiar. Okay, I said the homegirl looked like Rose because don't get me wrong, the facial expressions of her looked like Rose to me, like at first glance. Plus, your boy was hyped. We were doing a 2-hour boring behind showcase of games, and I completely was just all out of it and everything. The point of this long little intro, I want to thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. Again, I'm not solely a Resident Evil channel because some people subscribed back then because of that, and then they left because I didn't deliver. There's a reason why I know that. Okay, so I just want to reiterate to you guys that if you do subscribe, look at my previous videos to see what the channel is all about, which is really just mainly gaming. But I have no trouble talking about some Resident Evil. Okay, now let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, now, like I said, this is going to be a calmer version of your boy. You guys already know I am very hype about stuff. Now I can be a little bit more calm now this time was able to settle in and everything like that. Let's just say it was tough to go to sleep last night because I was typing some stuff on my phone, and I got my notepad here on my computer of some stuff that I want to talk about after looking at the trailer a few times, looking at some comments and everything, all that good stuff like that. I do know Dust Golem, the most round leaker in the Resident Evil community, I want to say at least. He put his whole trailer breakdown. I did not look into that because there was a lot of twos. I think it was over like 30 plus, something like that. I didn't really look too deep into it. I'd like to dive into this with my own perspective in the trailer and all that good stuff like that. And I have some stuff here that I do want to point out. And of course, it leaves also for discussion in the comment section as well. It brings interaction to the channel, which I think is some good, very talking points. So the first one I have, okay, this is a very, very, very big one, but guys, I'm not a lore expert or anything. If I'm missing at some points, let your brother know. The first thing I want to address, and there was a comment section that did ask about this, well, a comment that did ask about this, and it was 2 parts in this trailer that I noticed, and it was a particular sound, okay? It was a particular sound. Now, yesterday I mentioned that I thought there was a first-person view in one of these areas here. Now that I get a 4K look at this puppy, right? No BS, I thought this background statue was just somebody standing there. Okay, good. When I was looking at this big girl here. Now, someone in the comment section, I thought about it for a little bit because when I hear chains, now this is why I say RE1 remake is still the best damn remake because that's still fucking scary. Anytime I hear chains, I think of who do you think of? You think of Miss Lisa Trevor, right? Homegirl Lisa Trevor, that name did not click into me until I watched the video a little bit more. Now, like I said, I'm not a lore expert on this. When I saw this and then I heard this part right here, y'all heard the chains, and then when you look at this image, you see like white hair and everything in the background. So it looked like this could be a a female character, right? Now with Lisa, she had the chain. She was hooked up. She was handcuffed basically. But every time she walked, you heard a chain. But I think from her design, you didn't see like a face or anything like that, even though homegirl was funked up. Now let's be honest here, Lisa Trevor is probably one of the saddest story in the whole Resident Evil lore, for me at least. And the reason why I'm saying could it be Lisa Trevor, now at the same time though, I was Googling a little bit. I'm not the only one thinking that as well, because I think one of the Google searches I saw was Lisa Trevor RE9. So I think people are thinking that homegirl here and that sound and like the little image that we saw right here, I think a lot of people are assuming this is Lisa Trevor as well. The only reason why I would not think this is Lisa Trevor is simply because of the size of it. Lisa Trevor was not big like this, okay? But hearing the chains and seeing like this little chain thing here, it could be. The only reason why I'm also not thinking it's not Lisa Trevor, the only reason why I'm thinking that, last time we saw Lisa Trevor was when she jumped down after she grabbed her mother's skull, right? And that was like the last time we saw her. I don't know any lore or anything that she went from the mansion to the city or anything. Plus we don't even know where this house is taking place or anything like that. We don't know. So I'm not gonna say this is the damn mansion in the Arklay Mountains, which we're actually gonna get to that. It's a funny little topic, but like I said, it's up for discussion. So do I think this could be Lisa Trevor? Maybe it could be, but at the same time, we don't even know when this is taking place, right? We just know this is after the explosion. Okay, now the point of the explosion was not necessarily to destroy the city, more on the lines of destroy the infection. It was cool seeing how the city looked after the explosion, because after that we didn't really see what Raccoon City looked like or anything like that. But we know a nuclear explosion is not necessarily going to destroy the city, it's supposed to destroy the infection. But as we know, as Resident Evil fans, we obviously know that did not work. It's cool going back here, but yeah, I'm not sure if this is Lisa. Lisa's face. Actually, let me go ahead and Google what the heck Lisa's face actually looked like. So when you zoom in on that puppy, it's not no freaking, like I said, it's not no face. It looks like a bag or something like that. But I don't know. But you see the chain link here on her legs, right down here, and she had like the box handcuff just like that. It didn't look like there's chains on it. But here in this trailer here, you see this right here. Obviously, these are hands, and you got a chain link here. Like I said, I don't know. That's up for speculation. This is why I love the Resident Evil community, because it's fun to speculate things like this. If I had to guess, do I think this is Lisa Trevor? No, but I'd be more than happy to be wrong to see Lisa again, to see what they did and how she left the mansion or wherever this is taking place, right? But at the same time, I don't know any other Resident Evil villain or zombie that made a sound that resembles chains. You know what I'm saying? So it could be a new one, which I'm totally cool with. I just don't think this is Lisa, but obviously I'm going to assume that this person right here is the same person we saw roaring at the screen when the logo appeared, because you can tell this thing has hair, and the other one, this right here, this has hair as well. So it's possibly the same thing, but we're hearing chains. So could it be Lisa? Could it be somebody else? We don't know. If I was a betting man, I would say it's not. It's probably a new villain. But if some way, somehow, Capcom was managed to write it in that Lisa is still alive, somewhere, wherever the heck this is taking place, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Okay, next topic for discussion. A lot of people, including myself, okay, they would love to see Leon back, okay? And before I say this, let me just say, okay, I'm a big fan of Leon, okay? I am a Leon fanboy. All right, I'd be more than happy to see Leon back in an updated RE game. All right, now, well, not updated RE game, because updated, he was in 2 of the remakes, damn it. But you know what I mean, the next installment, right? So I would love to see that. Okay, see what's been going on, because like I said, we don't know when this is taking place. Okay, we don't know if this is before RE Death Island, all that stuff like that, which I don't think so. I don't think Raccoon City is gonna just look like that for that many freaking years. I'm pretty sure this is probably taking place like somewhere in the middle of the timeline, which I'm happy for us to find out. So I'm more than happy of Leon coming back, okay? Now, according to Dust Golem, I'm throwing Leon and Grace Ashcroft. Every time I say Ashcroft, I wanna say Ashford so bad because I'm a big fan of Code Veronica. So many ashes, okay? So if I say Ashford at some point and I didn't edit it, re-edit it, or redo it or whatever, just know that I meant Ashcroft, okay? I'm sorry. But continuing on, I'd be more than happy. But the reason why I say Leon is because there was a comment, but also it wasn't just a comment. Like I said, I was Googling and I was looking at people. A lot of people were thinking that this line here, people thought this was Leon.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
Have you seen the same shit I've seen? Now, respectfully, I'm going to have to disagree, because in all the voices that we've heard of Leon, that does not sound like him. If it was an updated voice, I would not think that's Leon. I don't know what it is. Even though Nick Apostolides is the newest voice for Leon, right? And Paul Mercier is my favorite, and of course Matthew Mercer also made his mark on Leon as well. That does not sound like any of the voices that I'm very familiar with on Leon. And if it's an updated voice, I can't picture, even though that's a younger Leon, but I can't picture, I don't know how modern or when this takes place, right? But I can't picture that being Leon's voice, as we've seen his face so many times, and I'm trying to match a voice with a face, even though that's not necessarily fair, but still, it's hard to say. When you say the same shit I've seen, Leon ain't the only one who's seen some weird-ish, okay? You know, or some downright issue. So I personally don't think that's Leon, but it's not only that. Because Dust Golem said that Leon is in the trailer, a lot of people assume, and now this I can sort of get behind. So a lot of people think that this is Leon, okay? Now it's not far-fetched. Now, of course, you can look at this image and be like, why would Leon's lips, all this stuff like look like that or whatever? I love this trailer. It didn't really give us much perspective to go on, and that's why I love the developers. Okay, they're fucking trolls. Homie freaking said, you know, it'll be here in a blink of an eye. Now every time I think of like a blink of an eye, I'm thinking like the whole old trademark of good old Resident Evil with the eye. Okay, however, they did funk with us because I think they knew that showcase was boring AF. No offense to the other games, but I'm just keeping it real. A lot of the games look fucking insane. A lot of people think this is Leon, okay? But because of this discoloration, the grainy film and everything like that, this is obviously, I don't think this is probably what it really looks like after all this is stripped away and whatever this flashback or anything is supposed to be. We don't even know this is going to be a flashback. This is probably just a quick little cutscene. They just re-edited it and everything. If we've seen enough Resident Evil trailers, a lot of them don't be looking like how they show it on here. Like the little clips that we saw of Alyssa Ashcroft, which was cool to see because the only time we've seen it was Outbreak. So we've seen like an updated version of her and what it looks like. Okay, we're actually gonna get to one of those little flashbacks with Miss Ashcroft in a little bit and talk about something. But yeah, a lot of people think this homie here is Leon. I can get behind that. Now the reason why I can get behind that, because I've stared at this multiple freaking times. It's not because I know Leon's lips and all that crap like that. No, Leon is a good looking dude, but come on, I ain't staring that damn hard. There's a reason why. Okay, so if you look closely, I thought this was just like a hooded robe. When I first saw this in a hood over the face or anything, I'm thinking Los Illuminados type-ish, okay? But I didn't say it out loud because I knew how stupid that sounded. But if you look outside of this and you look at like the collared shirt and this white shirt here, right? Now, I'm not sure if Leon is an agent or what but the thing, we all know Leon, he dresses, I guess you could say professionally, or you could say tactically, yeah, but professionally, if he's an agent at this point, this is probably just a simple little jacket, okay? And under it is probably like a collared shirt, or I don't want to say like a suit or something like that, but as it gets closer, you can see what I'm talking about. You got a little thing right here, mouth is a little bit open, whatever, and then you got this image right here. So you get a closer look. That's what I'm saying. Like all of this is probably just film grain, all this stuff, then they just edited on here. This is probably like a clear face if it is Leon. Like I said, this I can get behind if it is Leon. And it's not because Dust Golem said that it's starring Leon, but if someone told me this is possibly Leon, I'm not gonna just assume that all these people that are mysterious are bad people. I'm not gonna do that. I've been fooled by that before. But freaking, just because this collared shirt right here, Leon is a special agent, I can see Leon wearing something of this caliber right here, and this hood, this jacket is just a jacket. So I can see how this can be Leon Kennedy. I'm more on the fence that this is Leon Kennedy, but the voice that said, "Have you seen the same shit I've seen?" I'm not going to put a stamp on it that could be Leon. That just does not sound like Leon to me. My personal opinion, respectfully, if you think that is Leon or anything, hey, by all means, I'm right with that opinion, and I'm more than happy come February 27th when we play the freaking game on stream, because we will. I hope that is Leon. I hope you guys' opinions are right, and I'm wrong. I would just love to figure that out. But at the same time, this is just a reveal trailer. We already know they're gonna release more trailers. Okay, and I'm also aware, as a side note, that there is gonna be a demo at Gamescom in August. I would love for it to be worldwide available, and hopefully Capcom really surprises us that, hey, freaking, it'll be here at Gamescom, but after Gamescom is over, the demo will be available for people to play it at home. I would freaking love that. That'd be lit. All right, next topic. Some people here are new to the channel, all right? One thing that you guys are going to realize, right? I'm a very hype individual, high charismatic person when I do love something, and I think that attracted some people here to the channel. But it also does not hide the fact that your boy is stupid. At the same time, I want to defend myself a little bit here, okay? This aerial view right here, okay? No one has called it out on me yet. I think one person did in the live stream. I was looking at the comments when I was re-looking at the video, that they're saying that this view right here should have been a dead giveaway, that this is Raccoon City. I'm sorry, it wasn't a dead giveaway to me at all. It really wasn't. There's a reason why. As we got further into the Resident Evil series, they don't talk about Raccoon City like that. We haven't seen no images, no flashbacks. What did the city look like afterwards? We heard nothing. The only thing we heard is every time when they mention it was like in Resident Evil 6, when Helena said, it was Raccoon City, you're one of the survivors. And Leon said his famous line, yeah, and I'll never forget it. That's like the last time you heard of Raccoon City, other than maybe some notes and stuff like that in the other games. Other than that, we haven't seen much of Raccoon City. Now, I'm a big fan of Raccoon City because that's probably nostalgia talking, because this is how it all started here in Raccoon City, right? And it just seemed like it was forgotten. Like, hey, this is the foundation. This city right here was the foundation of what we all know and love today, and how it all started and how we all met the survivors and everything. But as a fan, I have always been attracted to the idea of, hey, either going back to Raccoon City, or if they were to make an open world, right? Hear me out. If they were to make an open world, right, would they go back to Raccoon City and we do all this again? Now, when I say do all this again, like, because I had to think, I don't think one nuclear explosion is gonna destroy everything that occurred in Raccoon City, right? Because we all know, let's be honest, and the survivors were fighting to not launch that nuke because there are still survivors in the city. The survivors we know, they're the ones that escaped. We know that the government killed innocent freaking civilians that were still trapped in the city and they couldn't leave. Not everyone was a zombie. Those are the only ones that managed to get out. No, I would put a stamp on it. That's not even a fact. Okay, well, I'm sorry. That is a fact, that there were more civilians and stuff here that were trapped, and then all of a sudden they just got bombed on. But this was cool to see, because like I said, Raccoon City doesn't have like a big monument or landmark to distinguish that, hey, this is Raccoon City, other than the RPD police station. Now, right, with this image, and this is also what I thought here, I don't want to speculate too heavy because of this aerial view. Like, this could be just like an intro cutscene or whatever, just to show an aerial view of the city and what it looked like now. It probably has no meaning to it. But the reason why I'm sitting here speculating, this gets me all freaking excited, so bear with me if I get too stupid and too hype or anything like that, because it's fun to speculate. This whole time they were saying that this Resident Evil was taking a good little bit because they wanted to, well, it was rumored that they wanted to make it an open world type Resident Evil. It's something new, and that's what we are trying to figure out, is what is new about this particular RE. What is going to be the new stature with this, on why it took so long, apparently, because apparently they're saying that they're trying to make some new things happen. Right, an open world was like the biggest thing. I speculated that I could see that being true because in RE Village, you didn't have to go to the linear path and just continue on like most Resident Evils used to before. You was able to deviate from the path a little bit to unlock some extra stuff and everything, and then go back on the same path to go to the Four Kings before you, of course, you meet Mother Miranda and all that good stuff, right? And I felt like that was like a small little testing ground on like trying to make it open world, I guess you could say. Now, when I look at this view and look at this image, it looks like, I don't want to say obviously, it's just we can speculate, and it looks like, because they showed a lot of Raccoon City, they showed a lot of images and clips, that we could be going back. Okay, we could be going back. And if Leon is in here, I don't know when the fuck this is taking place, man, because this would be crazy if Leon actually goes back to Raccoon City. Like that would be crazy. My speculation is that if we come back to Raccoon City, how far can we go in the city? How can we explore the city? Like, what are they going to allow us to see? So obviously we can see the RPD, but the only big monument or like thing that I can think of in Raccoon City is the clock tower from RE3, right? So like, are we gonna be able to see that? Are we gonna see remnants of that? Are we gonna be able to see Kendo's gun shop, like how it looks like all after this? Are we gonna be able to see some like things that are familiar, you know, other than the RPD and everything like that? Are we going to be able to see all that? You guys remember in the showcase where how they were doing like the whole Capcom sale and everything like that, and it was a typewriter that said RPD. This is when I was like, okay, maybe we're probably going to see something here. This was like first indication, like, oh shit, freaking, we had this, right? Got a typewriter. As soon as I first saw the typewriter, I was like, oh, holy crap. But it says RPD up here, right? And it said internal memo, Raccoon City outbreak. So I think this is part of the whole teaser trailer that, you know, that we got to see and we're talking about. We see that in the internal memo. I can't read the rest of this, and it said temporary station into a temporary shelter. Yep, RPD, yeah, Raccoon City outbreak. So, and then of course we see all this and everything. So when I saw that, and then I'm relating it back to this puppy here, is that like a teaser that like they're gonna do things differently? Are they going to actually make a funky multiplayer that is good? Okay, not some asymmetrical thing. I think that's the word, asymmetrical, when they're doing the whole Resident Evil Resistance and then the whole weird thing where RE Reverse and all that stuff like that. Like, are they gonna make a multiplayer? And this is the testing ground, kind of like how Outbreak is, right? The original Outbreak, and then freaking we can do it modern times. Like, I think nothing will make me happy than a Resident Evil multiplayer game that is functional. Okay, functional and fun. Okay, if it's functional, the first three letters is fun. It's got to be functional and fun, damn it. So freaking, I want to see that. Maybe this is a long topic that I'm talking about just from this little view right here, but it's just fun. Like I said, it's fun to speculate that they're showing this, and it's like this is a whole thing we could possibly explore if it is open world. Okay, maybe this is the multiplayer that we are dreaming of. Okay, I would love to team up with other survivors and explore the city in a modern time to try to escape all this, or like different areas, just like how Outbreak was. Okay, I would love a modern Outbreak or bringing back Outbreak, because some people like me have a PS2 and I couldn't experience how Outbreak was back in the day. With emulation, I just don't have people to play with, and I know it's pretty difficult pretty complicated how, and to get it all set, set it up and set done. That's besides the point. This whole little view right here just got my mind, gears just turning. Okay, and once again, I'm sorry, this image right here with the crater, if I did not, I was like, this did not scream out Resident Evil to me. There's a lot of freaking movies and games and quirks that has a big fat behind crater in the middle. Okay, so I was like, this was not a dead giveaway to me. I'm sorry. Like I said, maybe I'm just fucking stupid. I'm gonna go with that. Next topic. So this topic is gonna be a quick one. I wrote it, I simply typed it down because I saw a comment on it, and I think I saw like maybe one or two people in the fan base probably said this and everything, is that, okay, if we're going back to Raccoon City, right, are we going to get a chance to go back to the Arklay Mountains or the leftovers of the mansion? The thing is, we saw what happened to the mansion at the end of RE1. We know that thing is a kaboom. Okay, if there's any leftovers, it's crazy. However, you also got to think though, their first encounter with a zombie-like or bioweapon were the dogs in RE1 remake, right? They were in the forest and all that stuff with that. I don't think that explosion from the mansion just killed everything that was in the forest. Who knows what else was roaming in that forest and everything. And the reason why I say that is because obviously it didn't contain it, because from there it got here to the city. Well, okay, well, we know it was the rats that caused all this, and it was like to a point, like, because the rats spreaded it, it got into the water system, from what I understand, of course. So that's how majority of the city got infected. I think that's how it worked. Okay, like I said, I'm not too big on the lore, but there's some things that I do know. If I'm wrong on that, please feel free to comment and let me know that hey, Griffin, you are dead wrong, family. You are all over the place. Let a brother know. Okay, let a brother know. At least know what kind of person I am and what this channel is when I'm talking. I was like, but yeah, so that was a thought process that I can get down. But at the same time, the mansion is gone. Okay, if there's leftovers of the mansion, I would be very incredibly surprised. I don't think that explosion with that mansion destroyed everything that's there. Like I said, we don't know what happened after all that they left. It's like Resident Evil just left all this after Raccoon City. They just went further on. Then we got to Leon and RE4, and then we didn't really see. But we didn't see none of Raccoon other than like documents and stuff like that. We didn't even see the city and everything. So that's why I'm very excited on what this could be and everything. But this is a short little topic. I just know that some people were talking about it, and I wanted to bring that up. Like, could we revisit that? Could we do that? I mean, I don't know. Would it be cool? Absolutely. This one's pretty small too. I think this one is a little bit far-fetched. That the female voices that we hear in this trailer, two names kept popping up, but one is a big one. And the only reason why one is a big one is because Dust Golem actually said in his trailer breakdown, this is actually what I saw in one of the tweets when I was reading it. One of these voices was Nicole Tompkins. But of course, we know that Nicole Tompkins, she voiced Jill, right, in RE3 Remake. Homegirl apparently is voicing something here, according to Dust Golem, because he said a voice sounded very familiar, and he said, the way he wrote it seemed like he was very 100% sure, like no doubt in his head, that Nicole Tompkins is back voicing somebody in here. And we all know that she's mainly known for voicing Jill, and she also voiced one of Lady Dimitrescu's daughters as well. I don't know which voice he's talking about. There's a few female voices here. Let me let this play from this part and see if we can hear anything.
Stay close. They're coming.
Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
We need to keep our voices down.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
Please know that you are my hope.
Everyone's gone.
I've heard Nicole Tompkins' voice plenty of times. None of those women that have spoke sounded like her, but at the same time, that's the beauty of voice acting. It could be her, and she just changed her ish. Like, for example, Leon RE2 Remake and Leon RE4 Remake, they don't sound the same. Nika Pasaliz did a fine job on distinguishing young Leon and more mature and older Leon. Okay, so like I said, one of the voices could be her. It didn't sound like it, but I could be wrong on that. But apparently, Dust Golem said that Nicole Tompkins is voicing one of them because he did mention her name. Okay, like I said, that's up for speculation. I don't hear her, but if I'm wrong and it's just she fooled me with voice acting, and that's just the beauty of her fucking talent. Okay, so I could be wrong, but the two names that popped up was Jill, obviously, because Nicole Tompkins, people were saying that, oh yeah, that's her. It's not just Dust Golem saying that. And then I saw another name, and this one threw me off, was Helena Harper. And if you guys don't know who that is Leon's partner in Resident Evil 6. I liked Helena's character, other than to the point where she kept saying Deborah for her sister. I swear to God, I swear that was like her only fucking line in that damn game for like the first 2 chapters. Well, like at least for the second one. I was like, but regardless, we don't know when the funk this takes place, man. And that's the confusing part about this. If we're going back to RPD, when is this taking place? Obviously, I was like, I want to assume this is taking place maybe after the president's daughter, but we're talking about 6 years after Raccoon City, you know, was bombed. And it said Ms. Ashcroft died 8 years ago. And the flashbacks that we're getting, and we're actually going to roll into the other topic here, there's these flashbacks with Alyssa Ashcroft. So it's really cool that we see her in a modern setting, right, compared to what we see her in Outbreak. Now this hotel, now if you guys played Outbreak, is this hotel like in Outbreak? I was like I said, I've watched people play it, but I haven't really been following like the settings and like where they have where you go in that game. So let your brother know if that hotel name or anything sounded familiar. I haven't heard anyone say anything. The only thing I heard anyone say about anything about Outbreak was the name, was the last name, and that's one of the characters in the game. I haven't heard anyone saying anything about that. Hey, that's a hotel you visit at Outbreak. I haven't heard that yet. So like I said, let your boy know. But it's cool seeing this setting. Now rolling over, like I said, this next perspective was the camera's perspective. Now a lot of fans want third person. Personally, I want both options. I want both. I want first person and I want third person. And the reason why I want both is because they've already done it in RE Village. Okay, I would love a first person perspective and I would love a third person perspective, but if I had to choose one, I'd rather do third. However, I do see a benefit of the first person. First person is more, you know, immersive. It's more, it creates more suspense and everything because you're in the POV of the person, all that stuff like that, right? But first person gets a little wonky, especially in the Resident Evil sense, when you're doing combat. All you seeing is like stumbling and all that stuff like that, maybe hand movements and everything like that, but you're not seeing your character at all with that combat. So it can take some of the immersion out of it. Like if you're exploring a house or anything like that, sure, like little exploration, shooting zombies and stuff like that, you know, first person can be cool on that because it's like, holy crap, like you're in the POV of that. The reason why I like third person is because I enjoy, and this may sound weird, so bear with me on this when I say this, especially in Resident Evil, I enjoy seeing my character from the back perspective and seeing my character attack the enemy. If they stumble, I want to see the movement of my character stumbling. And realistically, because it makes me feel like I said, I think, and I said this before in the RE4 remake trailers when I was breaking them down, it makes me feel like shit when I see my character get killed. When I see my character get killed or attacked or anything like that, it makes me feel like shit. And if it's brutal, I'm like, damn, I really funked them up. You know what I'm saying? So I like that perspective on seeing my character. Not only that, there's like costumes and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking see that. So, cause there's some games where like it's first person, like there's costumes and shit, but you don't see it unless it's a cutscene. I want to see it all the time. So that's a little side note on why I like third person. But I prefer third person, yes, but I understand the benefits of first person as well. Now, I said that in the camera view when we saw the possible Lisa Trevor crawling down the wall, I did say that looked like first person angle, but there were some comments that said, hey, you know, in other trailers, they did that same kind of perspective as well. But like I said, that's just up for speculation. I just said it looks like it. Okay, I'm not saying it is, but if it's not and I'm wrong and that's just a cutscene, okay, I can get down with that. It just looked like it. But, and this is where I thought here where I saw a little bit of third person, and it has to do with Miss Ashcroft here. This is a third person look, but it's a trailer, so they could have just edited, like zooming in a little bit, all that stuff like that. I saw like a glimpse of this when I looked at the trailer again. I'm like, maybe I see a little third person in there. Now this is where it gets me to the idea on this, and this is where I'll wrap it up here on like some of the stuff that I've seen in the trailer. You know me, I'm gonna keep freaking looking at this damn trailer to see if I see anything new on here. But those are like the main things that I saw and some of the audience perspectives on some things right here. But I'm wrapping it up with all these right here. This is my last talking point, was that the camera's perspective, okay? And I've already said which one I prefer and which one I like, but I can see the benefit of both. There was a talk on where that if it is Leon and Grace, what if you play as Grace, you're first person, or if you play as Leon, you're third person, and it switches? That would be weird. That would be weird. It was like a little talk that I saw some fans were saying, and I can't get down with that. That would just be weird. Instead of just being all one fully just third person or first person throughout the whole game, that'd be weird. But I just feel like when you look at this, I feel like I'm looking at this and then the whole angle of that the chain link monster climbing down the wall. I'm on the fence that's just slowly showing like, hey, you get an option. You get an option to see third person and first person. All right, third person is the only thing I see here that is over the shoulder. Okay, in this whole reveal trailer. Okay, that's the only thing I'm saying. So. But I do also want to reiterate as well. I know there's some fans, OG fans. I'm an OG fan like myself, but I also understand this. But a lot of people want to go back to this. There are still fans that are asking. It's dwindled down, and it's dwindled down in recent years now. But you still got your few peeps that are there. that want the fixed camera angles back in Resident Evil. Now look, I'm all for fixed camera angles because I know that's nostalgia talking, y'all. That's what it is. Don't get me wrong, I'm used to it, but you see a lot of fans, and the thing, I'll say this, a lot of people even back then who played it were turned off because of that. It was hard to control. You did have to get used to it, okay? Because I thoroughly enjoyed the game, I got used to it, and of course many other people did. I got used to the fixed camera angles and know how to control the player, you know, and in a very easy state. Okay, I can still do it today, and I know y'all can too, but there's some people that just cannot do it. I'm not gonna blame them. I'm not gonna say that's their limitations. That's not fair, because it is wonky when you first do it. But I don't know if people know this, but the camera angles and everything for that was simply just a limitation that they had to work with. It wasn't because of perspective, like, hey, this is how they want to make the game. It was just limitations of what they had to work with back then. That's why the camera angles were like that, for what it can show and what it can do. Maybe the only game that it could have went maybe over the shoulder was RE1 Remake, because it was on the GameCube, and then look what happened with RE4. You had over the shoulder, and that was like when their limitations were more up there, and they were able to reveal more of the map, more of the area and everything. So maybe RE1 Remake could have been over the shoulder. Regardless of that fact, I'm glad it's not. I love the perspective that, you know, it's still a fixed camera angle. So people, if new generations want to get into RE1 Resident Evil, I'm always gonna tell them start with that one, RE1 Remake. At least start with that if you don't want to play the original. I'm cool with that, but you at least get to still experience the camera angles that we had to experience. And it's easy to get down, but some people cannot. But yeah, the reason why the fixed camera angles are not there no more is because the limitations are not there no more. They can broaden their horizons right now. So I do not believe ever in my life that the Japanese developers of Resident Evil are not going to go back to that. I do not think they will ever go back to that, because that was just a hardware limitation that they had to work with. And I think they wanted to stray from that heavily, which is why we got RE4, right? And we've never seen it again, unless the only time we've seen it was mods. That's the last time we've seen fixed camera angles is fan made, or they'll make mods of it. But other than that, Japanese developers wouldn't. I don't think they will ever do it. And I guarantee if you ask them, I don't know if they have ever been asked and they did an interview. Maybe I could look it up, but I'm not. Is because I solely believe that they do not want to go back to that. Okay, so to the fans that want fixed camera angles, I get your sentiment, but I think we can probably stop asking for that, because I think Japanese developers are not thinking about fixed camera angles. Like, in their eyes, that is long ago, and that was a hardware limitation. They don't want to go back to that. Okay, now of course you got mods. If that's what you want to do, by all means, those are more than always probably going to be available for you. I'm cool with them never going back. That's never bugged me. I would love for them to stick with third person, but give the option of first person, because I like both perspectives on that. But I prefer third person because I love seeing my character. I love seeing them stumble. I love seeing them fight. I love if there's a costume, I love to see the costume. And not only that, if they do die or get killed or anything like that, I want to see it. Not like how RE7 and RE8 was when we saw Ethan die, we just see him fall. You know, that's it. Like, what did he look like when he fell? Like, what was his body looking like? You know, what happened? All we heard was a scream and him falling. I want to see it, because I want to feel bad that I got my character, whoever I'm playing as, get killed. That's just the immersion that I'm with. All right, everybody, I'm gonna cut it right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was what I was able to come up with and type up on my phone and here on my notepad here on the computer and everything, to show like, hey, I've been looking at it, and this is some different perspectives, and I've been reading some of the fan speculations on what they think, all that stuff like that. I read every single comment on my last video. I don't know if I got some new comments while I've been here talking or anything, but at the same time though, that's what I came up with, and I hope that maybe after the Gamescom in August or anything, we get to see a demo, or like hopefully so they can record it if we can't play it, or hopefully after Gamescom they'll give an announcement like, hey, everyone can play the demo now. I would love that. I can't go to Gamescom. I'm going to Japan in October. I need to save my money, so I ain't going to. And hey, look, I love y'all. Please, man, y'all take care.